I've got it.
Okay, great.
Welcome to Daily Invocation, Souls Check-in.
Your beloved source for information and inspiration on our paths towards healing, attainment, and liberation.
Yay. This week we've been invoking connection.
Invoking connection.
Starting to become aware of the sounds that surround you or the absence thereof. Maybe becoming aware of any sensations in the body. Tuning into our breath.
And exploring who, what, why we may want to connect with or not connect with.
Maybe it's yourself, other people, maybe it's nature, a hobby, art, dimensions,
Birds,
the seen and the unseen, confidence, your authentic self. Just notice what comes up for you.
So today, I really wanted to invoke and dive into, explore, removing some of the barriers to connection.
So we started with self-concern yesterday. And today we'll be talking about V word. The scary V word.
Vulnerability.
So most of us have come to love and enjoy Brené Brown's perspectives and research around this topic. We want to dive a little bit deeper than maybe she does, or just as a reminder of some of the things she and other experts say about vulnerability.
Specifically, the risks involved. Okay. We want to be very empathetic here. It is scary, and you will get hurt. And that's okay. That's part of being human. It's part of what we signed up for. There's so many great cliches, and they're all true. Better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
You will learn. That's also guaranteed.
And grow.
You will expand. Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Expand and grow in ways that you may not otherwise even know about yourself or have the opportunity to discover. So, how do we break through vulnerability as a potential barrier?
I also want to mention, continuing from yesterday, there's a whole ton of conditioning around being safe and conservative, right? And our strong encouragement is to decondition and go beyond that. I was actually reading a great thing the other day about the bell curve of vulnerability and risk reward. And this author was saying we want to be near the middle, which is, at the bottom, all conservative, no risk is super safe and super bland. And if you're totally risky, you're just going to get hurt. We're talking about connecting, of course. So, they were saying, oh, the top of the bell curve is awesome. We're encouraging, because there's so much conditioning towards the conservative side, push a little bit, risk a little bit towards the risk side. Not all the way down to reckless and, wild and crazy, no, but just taking a little more risks.
Yeah, so you might ask yourself, what does that look like just in this moment, just for today? Whenever you are watching this or listening to this, or whenever our voice you hear in your mind again around this, what's one risk that I'm willing to take today?
The great news is, like we were saying this week, probably none of us are in the cave right now. You have lots of opportunities every day, multiple opportunities. Even after viewing this, maybe just an email. You can throw in one sentence of vulnerability.
Putting a comment in the chat box might be a vulnerable thing. Coming on Saturday to breathwork if you've never tried it or you haven't done it for a while, or even if you did it yesterday, you don't know what you're getting yourself into necessarily, right? Maybe it's signing up on that email list or for that program. Maybe it's, once again, like yesterday, calling that person that you keep putting off. That's for myself. That's a message for myself. Maybe it's sharing something on social media. Showing up half naked might be a risk for some people. I don't know if it is for
Probably
you.
not a risk for me, but maybe for others.
Yeah, and that's the fun part too, right? Because I love that. What might be a risk for you may not be a risk for me, and vice versa.
And one last word I wanted to mention as far as removing barriers to connecting. A word came up to me right before we started, and that was awkwardness. Again, another conditioning. The majority of us are trained to be awkward and stiff and weird and follow orders and do all this. Okay, I mean, to some degree, you can argue it served us a little bit,
and
but
trained to the being awkward is somehow wrong,
yeah.
or is an indication. So
Right.
if it feels
Talk
awkward,
about a
yes,
dichotomy,
exactly.
double bind.
Yeah,
Huge double bind.
when you try something new,
right,
it might be awkward for a while.
They say be bold, and at the same time they say don't try anything. I mean, there's
don't rock the boat.
So we won't get deep into it, but I just want to name that as we are connecting more with ourselves, with others, with source, with everything, there can be some awkwardness, and that's okay, and let's again dive into the conditionings and see what happens when they feel awkward. And one risk could be just naming it. We meet a stranger and say something, oh, that was awkward, and you have a good laugh. So yeah, I just wanted to name that.
All right.
Okay.
Let us know how it goes. Let us know how your experiment and discovery, how that evolves. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, everyone. Much, much love.
Adios.